Okay, and here we are back at Prairie Paradise Retreat to make the butter tart filling. So I have here 2/3 cup of butter. I'm doubling the recipe because you can do about a dozen tarts with a single recipe. Here's my 2/3 cup of butter. And we need 2 cups of brown sugar. 2 eggs. I think I'll just put them in my measuring cup and give them a little mix before I add them. Just makes it easier in the bowl. There we go. We have our eggs, our butter, our brown sugar. We need 4 tablespoons of milk. Again, my professional measuring tool. If I was using a 4-liter jug of milk, I'd actually use the cap for my measurements. I find that that's the same thing as a tablespoon. Then we need 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And we're going to stir this up really well. I've got a little bit of lumps with my brown sugar, so I'm going to work those out. I'm just making plain butter tarts because people who like raisin tarts will eat plain butter tarts, but those that don't like raisins will not eat a raisin butter tart. You can also add things like coconut or walnuts. You can put anything in there that tickles your fancy. Today we're just going to stick with the plain old butter tarts, because I know I can make these go. When you're putting your pastry into the shells, into the tart tins there, you do not need to use any kind of grease because there's enough lard in the recipe that it doesn't stick. This is where it's better if you have your lumps worked out of your sugar first. And I'm a little time sensitive in what I'm doing here, so, and not that the recipe says to, but corn syrup. I put a nice squeeze in there, and that just gives some extra yum power to it. Now I have my oven preheated to 350, and we're going to cook these things until, when you look at the tray and go like this, it just looks a little jello-y, but solid. It's not sloppy or liquidy. And that's when they're done. Get these dozen going, and then I can have them in the oven, and I'll show you a picture after. Now, you don't want to get these too full, because when you're cooking it, it bubbles up a bit, and we want to try and keep it in our pastry. It's taking a tablespoon and a half. Well, I shouldn't say tablespoon because this is a bigger mixing spoon. Okay, those are looking fairly even. So, I'm going to put those in the oven and cook them. I'm thinking it's about 15-20 minutes, but I'm kind of by the eye, girl. Anyway, I'll give you a picture of that later. Thanks again.